Welcome to Dreamy Tales English. Today, we have prepared a special story for you. It is called The Last Delivery of Shenzhen. Lin Xiaoyu lived on the 22nd floor of a tall apartment building in Shenzhen. From her window, she could see the lights of the city stretching far into the night. There were office towers with blue glass walls, apartment buildings with thousands of warm yellow windows, and roads that moved like bright rivers below. Shenzhen was a city that never seemed to sleep. Even at midnight, delivery riders moved through the streets. Electric buses passed quietly under the trees. Small robots rolled through hotel lobbies, carrying meals in neat white boxes. Xiaoyu loved the city, but sometimes it made her tired. Every day, she worked at a technology company near Nanshan. The company built delivery robots for homes, offices, and hospitals. Xiaoyu did not build the robots herself. She answered messages from customers when something went wrong. My robot is waiting at the wrong door. My robot cannot find the elevator. My robot says it has arrived, but I cannot see it. These are the messages she read all day. At first, Xiaoyu found the work interesting. She liked the idea that a small machine could bring medicine to an older person or carry a warm dinner to someone who had worked too late. But after 2 years, her work began to feel like a long list of small problems. She spent her days looking at screens. She went home looking at another screen. She ordered dinner with her phone, paid with her phone, read books on her phone, and sometimes fell asleep with her phone still in her hand. One rainy Thursday evening, Xiaoyu arrived home later than usual. The rain had covered the city in silver light. Water ran down the windows of the subway. Umbrellas filled the streets like moving flowers. When Xiaoyu reached her apartment building, she saw a small white delivery robot waiting near the entrance. Its round screen showed a simple message: "Delivery delayed. Please wait." Xiaoyu stopped. The robot belonged to her company. "Oh," she said softly. "What happened to you?" The robot could not answer. Its screen only blinked. A security guard sat behind the front desk. He looked at Xiaoyu and sighed. "It has been waiting there for nearly 20 minutes," he said. "The elevator system is being repaired. It cannot go upstairs." Xiaoyu looked at the robot. On its top was a small insulated box. Inside was someone's dinner. "Which apartment?" she asked. The guard checked the screen on his desk. 28th floor. Apartment 2806. Xiaoyu smiled a little. "That is only 6 floors above mine." The guard raised his eyebrows. "You know this robot?" "I help take care of robots like this," Xiaoyu said. She pressed a button on the side of the machine. The top box opened. Inside was a paper bag from a small restaurant nearby. The bag was warm. A card on the top said, "Rice porridge, steamed vegetables, and chicken soup." There was another note below it. "For Mrs. Zhao, please call before leaving at the door." Xiaoyu looked toward the elevator. The repair workers had placed a yellow sign in front of it. "Out of service." She thought about going upstairs to her own apartment. Her feet hurt. Her coat was wet. She had not eaten dinner. Then she looked at the warm bag again. "I can take this," she told the guard. The guard smiled. "You are very kind. I'm only doing what the robot cannot do tonight," Xiaoyu said. She carried the bag to the stairwell. The first few floors were easy. The stairwell smelled of rain, old paint, and someone's dinner. Xiaoyu could hear televisions behind apartment doors. On the 19th floor, a child laughed. On the 23rd floor, a dog barked once, then became quiet. By the time Xiaoyu reached the 28th floor, she was breathing hard. She stood outside apartment 2806 and pressed the doorbell. For a moment, nothing happened. Then she heard slow footsteps. The door opened a little. An elderly woman stood inside. Her hair was white and carefully tied at the back of her head. She wore a pale blue sweater and soft slippers. Mrs. Xiao? Xiaoyu asked. Yes. Your dinner has arrived. The old woman looked surprised. I thought the robot would bring it. It tried, Xiaoyu said, but the elevator is being repaired. Mrs. Zhao opened the door wider. You carried it up all those stairs. Yes. Oh dear. The woman looked at the bag in Xiaoyu's hands. You must be tired. Please come in for a moment. Xiaoyu wanted to say no. She had learned that people in Shenzhen were always busy. Everyone had somewhere to go, something to finish, someone to answer. But Mrs. Zhao's apartment was warm, and the smell of ginger tea came from the kitchen. So Xiaoyu stepped inside. The apartment was small and very tidy. On one wall hung old family photographs. In one picture, a younger Mrs. Zhao stood beside a man in a green army uniform. In another, she held the hand of a little boy. On the table was a small vase with 3 yellow flowers. My grandson sends flowers every week, Mrs. Zhao said, noticing Xiaoyu looking at them. He lives in Canada now. They are beautiful, Xiaoyu said. He calls every Sunday. He always says, Grandma, please use the robot. It is safer than going outside in the rain. Mrs. Zhao smiled at the thought. I like the robot, she continued. It is very polite. It waits at the door and says, your delivery has arrived. But tonight, it could not climb the stairs. Xiaoyu laughed gently. No, it still has much to learn. Mrs. Zhao placed the dinner on the table. Then she poured a cup of ginger tea and offered it to Xiaoyu. For climbing 6 floors, she said. Actually, I climbed more than 6 floors, Xiaoyu said. I live on the 22nd floor. Mrs. Zhao looked concerned. Then you climbed 12 floors for me. Xiaoyu had not thought about it that way. She held the warm cup between her hands. Outside the window, the rain fell softly over the city. Mrs. Zhao sat down across from her. Do you live alone? She asked. Yes. Your parents, they live in Hunan. I visit them during the spring festival. Do they worry about you? Sometimes, Xiaoyu said. My mother says I work too much. Mrs. Zhao nodded. Mothers are usually right. For a few minutes, neither of them spoke. The silence did not feel uncomfortable. It felt calm. Then Mrs. Zhao pointed to a small robot standing beside the television. It was not a delivery robot. It was old and shaped like a little dog. My grandson gave me that one 3 years ago, she said. It can sing songs and tell me the weather. Does it work well? Xiaoyu asked. Sometimes. But last winter it stopped speaking. Xiaoyu walked over and looked at it. The robot dog had a tiny red scarf around its neck. May I? She asked. Mrs. Zhao nodded. Xiaoyu turned it over carefully. She found the battery cover and opened it. The battery was loose. She pressed it back into place. The robot's eyes lit up. Good evening, it said in a cheerful voice. The temperature outside is 19 degrees Celsius. Remember to bring an umbrella. Mrs. Zhao clapped her hands. Oh, you fixed it. It only needed a small adjustment, Xiaoyu said. The robot dog turned its head. Would you like to hear a song? Mrs. Zhao looked at Xiaoyu. Yes, she said. Please play the old one. A gentle melody filled the room. It was an old Chinese song, slow and soft. Mrs. Zhao did not sing loudly. She only moved her lips with the music. Xiaoyu sat quietly and listened. She thought of her own grandmother, who had died when Xiaoyu was still in school. Her grandmother had lived in a small town where everyone knew everyone. There were no robots there. There were no food delivery apps. If someone needed help, a neighbor simply knocked on the door. When the song ended, Mrs. Zhao looked at Xiaoyu with kind eyes. You work with machines, she said, but you have a very human heart. Xiaoyu did not know what to say. No customer had ever told her that before. At work, people only noticed robots when they failed. They complained about late deliveries, weak batteries, wrong floors, broken wheels. But Mrs. Zhao had reminded her of something simple. A robot was not important because it was clever. It was important because someone, somewhere, needed help. Xiaoyu stood up to leave. You should eat your dinner while it is warm, she said. And you should eat yours, Mrs. Zhao replied. Wait. The old woman walked to the kitchen and returned with 2 oranges. They're from my sister's garden in Guangxi, she said. Take them. Oh, I cannot. You climbed 12 floors, Mrs. Zhao said firmly. You can take 2 oranges. Xiaoyu accepted them. Thank you. When she returned to the stairwell, the rain had stopped. The building was quiet. A thin line of moonlight came through the small window on every floor. As Xiaoyu walked down the stairs, she noticed things she had never seen before. A pair of tiny red shoes outside one door. A bicycle helmet hanging from another. A note taped beside a neighbor's mailbox. Please take care. I will be home late. The building was full of people living separate lives. But behind every door, someone was cooking, waiting, working, resting, or missing someone far away. On the 22nd floor, Xiaoyu opened the door to her apartment. Her phone was full of messages. Her manager had sent a reminder about a meeting. A food app had offered a discount. A shopping app told her that a package had arrived. Xiaoyu placed her phone face down on the table. Then she made herself a simple bowl of noodles. While she ate, she looked out at Shenzhen. The city still glowed under the wet night sky. In the distance, a train moved quietly across an elevated track. Cars flowed along the roads. Somewhere, another delivery robot was waiting for an elevator. The next morning, Xiaoyu arrived at work early. She opened her computer and wrote a message to her team. New idea: stair climbing support for buildings during elevator repairs. Also, a simple call button for older customers. Her coworkers replied quickly. Good idea. Let's discuss it today. Can you explain why? Xiaoyu paused before typing. Then she wrote, because sometimes a delivery is not only food. Sometimes it is the only warm thing waiting outside someone's door. That evening, after work, Xiaoyu stopped at a fruit shop near a building. She bought a small bag of oranges. Then she went to the 28th floor. Mrs. Zhao opened the door with surprise. Xiaoyu, I was passing by, Xiaoyu said. Mrs. Zhao smiled. You live 22 floors below me. I know, Xiaoyu said. But this time, I took the elevator. The 2 women laughed. And in the quiet city of Shenzhen, where bright screens shone and small robots moved through polished halls, a new friendship began. 1 orange, 1 cup of tea, and 1 ordinary delivery at a time. Good night and sweet dreams.